Hello again everyone, hope you're all well. Today I'm on a little day walk and a wild camp in Kent. To be precise, I'm in the little village of Teasin, which I thought was pronounced Teston, but it's not. And I'm outside the Untitled Chapter pub, and they've kindly let me park the car here overnight. And yeah, starting things off. The walk is going to be 7 miles. It's going to be following a big section of the River Medway, and that's where I'm hopefully going to try and wild camp tonight. Got my rucksack just there, the Osprey 33 Talon, and I've got a little poncho tarp and my Outkit Hunker bivvy bag. So I'm sort of going lightweight-ish. There's a few extra little bits and bobs in there. So I'm by quite a busy road here at the moment. And yeah, starting things off again with a cider outside the pub. Now this one's a bit different. It's half a pint of Jake's Kentish cider, 4.8%. They brew this themselves, and it's not bad. It's very nice, in fact. It's not really fizzy. You can taste it's homemade, but it's not got any bits floating in it or anything like that. It's really decent. Anyway, so I'm going to enjoy this in what can only be described as incredibly nice weather for this time of year. It's really sunny today, and it's basically going to stay that way until until it gets dark, of course. But I mean, it's going to be cloudy overnight, so fingers crossed, no chance of rain. Yeah, should be a good one. So I'm going to enjoy this, and then we'll get cracking with the walk. Right, I'm leaving the Untitled Chapter pub here, and as I say, it's a 7-mile walk following a stretch of the River Medway. Should be a good one. Right, enough talking, let's get walking. When William Cobbett, 1763 to 1835, travelled through England in 1823, he fell in love with this part of the Medway, describing it as the finest 7 miles that I have ever seen in England. Across the Medway you see hop gardens and orchards 2 miles deep. Although there are far fewer hop gardens or orchards today, the area is still worth exploring. This walk takes you through the little village of West Farleigh, then across pasture to the banks of the Medway, the river that runs through the heart of Kent. The Medway rises in Sussex, then flows through the Weald of Kent and into the county town of Maidstone before making its way up to Rochester, where it flows into the Thames estuary. The river valley's fertile soils have made it an important focus of settlement for thousands of years, and many Neolithic burial chambers have been found in the valley. The river's name is thought to derive from the Celtic word Medway or mead, meaning that the waters were sweet and clean. The Romans also settled by the river, and the sites of several villas have been discovered on its banks, including one at East Farleigh. The Medway was an important transport route, although it was only navigable from Maidstone, and was a factor in developing the local economy. Kentish corn, iron, wool and timber would be taken along the river for sale in London. Another important product of the Medway Valley was ragstone. This was quarried by the Romans to build the walls of London, used by the Normans for the Tower of London, and later used for Westminster Abbey and Eton College. It's still used today in the construction of tidal defences. The weather is still absolutely glorious, and the path is very well maintained and stuff, well waymarked. Just keep the river on your right, of course. So of course there's a lot of people out today, dog walkers, joggers, people also out walking. A lot of these points along the river here are like fishing spots, so I think you actually need a fishing permit, so it could be a bit dodgy trying to camp there, but later on the walk, when I'm on the other side of the river, it might be a different story, so fingers crossed. Welcome back. We have entered East Farleigh, and how nice is this? This is sort of the sort of scene you'd see in summer, and we're getting this in February, so I think spring's definitely on its way. Had some bad weather lately on walks and camps, really bad, but I'm being rewarded. And then there's another ancient bridge just in front of us, and we're leaving the river at that point. There's another oast house in the distance, and then up on the hill is the church. This is amazing. Whenever I do these sort of walks along a river where there's loads of boats and barges, I always think I want to buy a boat and live on the river. East Farleigh Bridge is reckoned to be one of the finest medieval bridges in England. Made of local ragstone, it's extremely picturesque, with 4 pointed arches, and is so narrow that cars can only cross it in single file. During the Civil War Battle of Maidstone in 1648, the Royalists tried to hold the town against the parliamentary forces, who were led by General Fairfax. They expected the attack to come from the north, but Fairfax took them by surprise and sent his men round the outskirts of the town, then over East Farleigh Bridge. His troops then marched up to Maidstone from the south, successfully capturing the town for Parliament. Welcome back. I've just stopped at the Bull Inn in East Farleigh. Got half a Thatcher's gold, lovely. We'll resume the walk shortly. We've arrived at West Farleigh and Farleigh Green, past the Good Intent pub. Question is, do we stop in the Good Intent pub for another half a cider, or do we carry on? Pub or carry on? Pub or carry on? Pub. You knew the answer, didn't you? Right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's just gone 4 o'clock and I'm leaving the Good Intent pub here at Farleigh Green. And I know what you're thinking, That's the third pub. It's turned into a bit of a pub crawl. I think there's yeah, football going on over there, and ahead of us you can sort of see like the river valley. So we're heading back down towards the river Medway. Looks like it's going to be a really nice evening. How about this for a Saturday? It's decent, isn't it? Ah, this is lovely to be out in this. It reminds me of like what I've got to look forward to when the summer arrives. These sort of walks where it stays light, you know, for longer, and it's still warm out. And to think it's February, it's mad. Alright, we've arrived back at the Tickled Trout pub, which is just ahead of us. So of course that's where my car's parked, but we're going to be carrying on looking for somewhere to wild camp. There's another little sign about West Farleigh. West Farleigh Green, we've just been there. There are all the different things you can see: barn owls, great crested grebes, damselflies, hops of course, hedgehogs, foxes, rooks, roach, badger, hare. And I'm exactly here. So we want to get down to here and look for somewhere to wild camp along the river. A distinction is often made between men born east and west of the Medway. From the east they are men of Kent, while those from the west are Kentish men, some claim vice versa. It seems to date from early Saxon settlers who divided into East Kentings and West Kentings. It's about 4:30 now and we've rejoined the River Medway, and this footpath here is the Medway Valley Walk. There's some most houses ahead of us. Behind me is Teasin mill cottages, and then here is a pillbox. So obviously this was built here to guard against the Medway in case there was an invasion that came up the river. It's got a nice view looking out. Right, see if we can get a look inside of this. That looks promising. It's a pretty small pillbox, fairly tidy. Yeah, a little bit different in construction with a narrow doorway going up some steps. It's really tempting just to throw my bivvy bag down in here and wild camp, but I've even actually got a view of the river in the morning. Although there's a few houses around, I'd have to be really, really quiet, but still, look at that for a view. A few people out walking on the other side of the river. So the plan is I'm going to try and camp somewhere along here, although I'm starting to see horses in the fields, so it could be private property. We'll have to see. In the spring, some marshy areas by the river are used by frogs for spawning. Frogs are no longer the common creatures they once were, partly because the wetlands they inhabit are fast disappearing. Frog spawn should never be collected and taken away, even if you've got a garden pond. Right, welcome back. We've come right down to the riverbank now, and we're walking through this little section of woodland. Now I believe this is outside of the boundary of the farm and stuff, so this is where I was contemplating wild camping for the night, because I'm not far from the river and it's a sheltered spot where there's trees and stuff like that. I might need a tree to guy out my poncho tarp to. So yeah, this could be the spot for the night. We'll see. It says private land, no mooring or fishing on the other side of the bank. Don't know if that applies to here as well. I'm really not sure, but it seems okay. It's still quite light, so I kind of want to wait around till it gets a bit darker before I start thinking about pitching up and stuff. Welcome back. It's getting on to about 5 o'clock now, and I've carried on walking along the Medway Valley path beside the river, and I'm approaching Bow Bridge, which is the point where you turn around and then go back on the other side of the river bank. So I left that little wooded spot back there where I was thinking of camping, because it just looked a little bit dodgy really. I just thought, nah. And even if I did camp there, I'd have to hide right up in the woods away from the river, and it wouldn't be the best of views really in the morning and stuff. So at the moment it's 50-50 whether I wild camp or not really. I can take it or leave it because it's been a really nice day out. I've completed another 2 walks actually, because this is got 2 sections on it, this in the book, so I'm happy with that. It's been really nice, the views have been great, so I haven't really lost out on anything. Yeah, it would be nice to camp, but done a nice walk in the end, so I'm going to go back along the other side of the bank, and I think it said like there's private land there and stuff, so yeah, once again might not be able to camp there. I might head back up to Teasin Bridge where I started the walk, and there was like loads of fishing spots and stuff. Now I think I could probably get away with maybe going there, so we'll see, but it's probably going to be dark by then. Light's fading fast now. Crossing over Bow Bridge. There's a pub again ahead of us. It's called the Railway. Potential, I don't know really. Yeah, look, see, it's a lot busier now, the river. A lot more boats and houses along it. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's not ideal for wild camping. Look at this. It is lovely though. I've just passed the railway crossing next to Bow Bridge, and I've come out to Bow Bridge Marina. So didn't bother going in the pub, the railway. I thought, nah, let's focus on getting the walk done and looking for a potential place to camp. I'm still holding out hope. There's another little World War II pillbox right beside the river. We won't go in that one just because I want to save time, but yeah, thought I'd show you it. They are pretty cool. One day I will do a wild camping one. I spy with my little eye something beginning with P through the trees. It's another pillbox. Right, I did sort of see a couple of potential spots just back there, literally just through that gate. But once again, I'm really unsure kind of as to whether it's privately owned or not. I mean, this bit here says, I'll get the camera to focus, it is getting darker. EFCC private land members only. Oh, there's the train on time. So yeah, I would have the odd train going past at night, that's not a problem. I don't know, all of this, everywhere I keep looking, I keep seeing private land, all this stuff, and that's the most secluded bit through there that I've just walked through, but I really don't know. Part of me thinks, should I just go, fuck it and just camp? But thing is they could have people going along on boats through here, and I don't know, they could be checking the riverbank, or they could just be members, you know what I mean? They see someone wild camping and they'll probably bubble me up, and then it's like, you know, you get a fine or whatever. So I'm probably sounding really stupid. People go, ah Tom, who cares, just do it, you'll be fine, as long as you don't make a mess or a noise or you're a nuisance. But I don't know, a part of me just thinks it's not meant to be on this walk. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep on going back to Teasin Bridge. We've entered Teasin Bridge Country Park. I've made my decision. It's still quite light. I'm gonna knock the wild camp on the head. I know you probably was all looking forward to that, and I'm really sorry, but I'm in the country park here, and I thought, yeah, I could probably get away with it here. I'm walking along. Who comes along? Fucking park warden, collecting rubbish out of the bins. He was a nice guy because he gave me directions back to the tickled trout and stuff. Not that I wasn't unsure of it, but yeah, he was asking if I'd like caught anything. He thought I was fishing. I went, no, I'm walking. Didn't really question the fact that I've got a massive rucksack on me back. You know, it's a bit much for a day walk, sunny. Anyway, and yeah, to be honest with you, it's not worth it, is it really? So after all that bloody umming and ahhing, I'm packing it in. So I'm going to get back to the pub, get in the car and go home. Right, I can see Teasin Bridge in front of me now, and then we've also got to the lock here, Teasin Lock. It is lovely here, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, but there's a bit too much there's too many people around here, it's too busy. There's loads of like, you know, bits of private land and stuff that's owned and stuff like that. Teasin Canoe and Fish Pass. Yeah, it's too much ownership going on here, if that makes sense, and it's just not worth the risk, is it really? It makes for a brilliant day walk, right, but not a good place to wild camp. And there we go, so we're at the lock. Yeah, it's a shame. That's it for this video. I think I'm probably going to sign off here next to Teasin Bridge. So yeah, it's a little bit dark, I know, but it sort of seemed like a nice setting. Anyways, yeah, sorry there's no wild camp, but you know, it's just not worth the risk really and stuff, and it just wasn't anywhere really suitable. As I say, loads of privately owned bits of land and stuff like that, and yeah, it's actually, the rivers, as I say, quite busy with a lot of like you know, river traffic and stuff. So oh well, not to worry. Anyways, right, I hope you've still enjoyed this video anyway, and you've enjoyed the history and stuff like that and the views. It has been a really lovely walk, and it's been lovely weather today, and yeah, it's sort of a sign of things to come with the summer. I'm really looking forward to it in summer, getting out, walking, wild camping, and today sort of showcased it a bit. It's only just started getting cold now, and it's about 6 o'clock now. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Get in the comments, let us know what you think, and as always, you'll see me again soon. Cheers guys, thank you, bye.